cloudy day at Talladega for the first race of the second half of the season. Here today for the Alabama 499, third plate race of the season. Gonna be a wild one. Saw in practice a couple of a bit of crazy racing that was not uploaded to YouTube. So, looking on pole today for today's race will be Aric Jones. Starting second will be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Third will be Ragan. Fourth, Hamlin. Fifth, Bowman. Sixth, Busher. Seventh, Suarez. Eighth, Byron. Ninth will be Almirola. 10th, Keselowski. 11th, Bowyer. 12th, Elliott. 13th, Blaney. 14th, Harvick. 15th, Benedetto. 16th, Castle. 17th, Johnson. 18th will be Larson. 19th will be Kligerman. And rounding out the field in 20th will be Martin Truex Jr. Pretty good qualifying for some of these guys that are in need of points pretty desperately. Stenhouse and Jones towards the back half of the standings. Also good qualifying for some of our championship contenders, one of which being Daniel Suarez, the highest qualifying of the Stewart-Haas cars. He will be starting, although outside the top 5, he will be in the top 10 running 7th. The top qualifying championship contender, Denny Hamlin, also running towards the top half of the points, qualifying in 4th, although not a main championship contender. Anyways, rounding off of turn number 4, pace car gonna peel off and go into pit road. Aric Jones, Ricky Stenhouse to lead us to the green as we enter the restart zone. Flagman gonna drop the green. We are racing at Talladega for the Alabama 499 and the first race of the second half of the season. Oh, and they already got a wreck! Harvick and Elliott around in the back of the field. Good save by Elliott. Harvick around. Castle involved. Elliott and a couple others. I think Bowyer got a piece of it. And we are already racing back to the first caution of the day. And they're going to wreck again! Around goes Ragan, Stenhouse, and Hamlin in it. Here comes the rest of the field. Whoa, they're going to barely get through that one. Blaney trying to save it. Already 2 crashes on the opening lap. What a weird way to start this race. Aric Jones, the pole sitter, leads us back to the caution. Suarez in the second, and Keselowski in the third. Kevin Harvick around, and he has big damage to that 4 car. Not even going to have to do an intermission and any editing tricks to get back to that. What happened? So they went down towards turn 2. Harvick just dumps the 9 and ends up spinning out himself. Big hit to the outside wall. Elliott involved. Truex gets a piece of it. De Benedetto involved as well. And then they continued down the front stretch, and then they wrecked again. What happened? So they went down towards turn 3. Let me go into slow motion. Yeah, Keselowski looks to the inside of Suarez, and Hamlin just... No, Suarez turns up into Hamlin, wrecks them. Bowman involved. Ragan gets a piece of it. Byron with heavy front-end damage. Stenhouse gets a piece. Blaney gonna avoid this one barely, I believe. I think he might have gotten a piece of that one, but just a little bit. So, caution number 1. And we're gonna have cars pitting, obviously. And it looks like everyone except for Aric Jones and De Benedetto stays out as well. Pit stops under the caution flag. Suarez leads them down. Driver who is in second place, and we are going to get a look at pit stops. Hamlin in his stall. Jones and De Benedetto stay out. 2 Joe Gibbs aligned cars. Let's see who wins the race off pit road. Suarez into his stall. Busher in. Bowman into the pits as well. Ragan pulling in. Suarez gets it gassed and goes, and is off pit road. Keselowski second, and Larson third. Getting ready to go green again. Jones leads us down, green flag in the air for the second time today. 3 cars out of the race, Hamlin, Elliott, and Harvick. Anyways, going back to focus on the race, I started recording a little late by accident. Suarez dropping out behind the outside lane, got shuffled by Keselowski. Larson drops out as well. Kligerman gaining some spots. Ragan with some heavy damage on that 38 machine. The back end completely sawed off. They removed it on that pit stop, as they have some heavy damage on that car as they go down towards turn 3. No accidents yet. Looks like we will make our first green flag lap of the day, although everybody is running quite aggressive. Kligerman looking to the inside of... Whoa, Jones with a bit of a chop block on the 96. Can't quite clear himself. Down into turn number 1. Parker Kligerman to the lead, pushed by Jimmy Johnson. And also pushed by, and then Almirola gonna look to the inside with help from Larson, as well as Suarez. Down the back, mostly single file between these top guys. Oh, they're gonna wreck again! There goes Suarez, Jones involved, another crash. Byron in it as well. Stenhouse gets involved late. Big hit for them. Blaney in it. Second caution of the day. Crazy start to this race, and 3 wide coming to the stripe. Kligerman by a nose. Second caution of the day. Not even going to have to do a transfer for this one either. Looks like Jones got hooked down into Suarez. And he did. He got tagged by Keselowski going into turn 3. Spun back out. Keselowski avoids that wreck. Blaney gets in it. Good avoidance by Buescher. Byron nowhere to go. It looks like Ragan barely squeaks by, and then Stenhouse piles in late. Can't get slowed down, and big hits for them. Second caution of the day already. And Kligerman will lead us with Almirola in second. Barely even, not even a third of the way into this race, and we already have had 2 large-scale crashes. 3, actually. And only 12 cars currently on the racing surface. We'll get a look. And it looks like there's also going to be pit stops again. More cars coming down to try and make sure that they can make it to the end. Who's going to be staying out? Almirola stays out, it looks. Yes, Almirola still on the racetrack. Kligerman leads them down to pit road. And Larson in second onto the pits. Hang on a moment. Race off pit road. Contact between Larson and Johnson, that looked like. Yeah, Johnson ran him over while he entered his stall. And the race coming off pit road will be handed to Kligerman, thanks to Larson's mishap while entering. And now we will fast forward to the green flag. 4 cars stay out under that caution. Castle, Truex, Bowyer, and Almirola are going to lead us to the green. Green flag back in the air. Kligerman rounds out the top 5 currently. Down towards turn number 1. Truex with heavy damage to his engine. Not going to be able to get going and loses tons of spots, although he did stay out. Buescher trying to pass as well. Bowman around this traffic. Looks like DiBenedetto is going to catch up to him. I think Bowman is off the pace as well. Keselowski trying to gain spots. Also out in that accident. All of the cars involved are out. Suarez, Jones, Blaney, Byron, and Stenhouse all out after that incident. And for the lead, Almirola continues to lead. Kligerman in second, but here comes Kligerman, and they're going to go 3 wide for the lead again. The exact same guys that went 3 wide for the lead on the run to the caution flag are going to go 3 wide again. Down the front, Kligerman leads that lap, and we have finally made a lap under green. $22 laps remaining here today at Talladega, and not very many cars left, only 12 of them left. And it looks as though about 8 of them are actually on pace to win it. Down into turn 3, Larson leading. Off turn number 4, will Almirola stay with Larson? No, he won't. He's going to go for a move himself to the inside of the 42 down the front stretch with help from Johnson. No. Bowman looking to the inside of his teammate, trying to make a move, but now Keselowski makes the move. Johnson will stay high to go with his teammate, but that is not going to work. The high side is not very favored at this track with its old racing surface. Larson falls back to second, trying to make a move with help from Keselowski. Bowyer does not seem on pace and is probably going to fall out, which means we're only going to have about 7 cars in this front pack. Whoa, Almirola tries to block DiBenedetto. That was a scary chop block by the 10, but it isn't going to pay off. Yes, it will. He chop blocks him again. Almirola getting really aggressive early on in this race. And he's going to go for the lead, but is Dibby going to go with him? No, he won't. DiBenedetto obviously not feeling too happy with the 10, doesn't want to work with him now, but that's going to cost him third. Larson getting a shove from the 95. Keselowski looks low with help from the 88. We do not have lap traffic for another half a lap. Keselowski trying to get third away from Larson. Pulled a bit of a side draft on him, it looked like. Now he's going to move up towards that top position. Kligerman trying to block the 2. Keselowski to the inside of Kligerman for second. This is what Almirola wants to see in his rearview mirror. Quite a quick car out of these top runners. Has quite the fast machine, been running up front the entire day, even though we've only had about 4 green flag laps. He has proven that that car is bad fast. Bowman up into third now, as Almirola trying to hold the lead. Towards 3 and 4, and off turn 4 they come. Almirola continuing the lead over fellow Ford Keselowski, and we're going to go 4 wide for the third position. Larson drops out and stalls out on that outside lane. Kligerman up in, still holds on to third. Makes a pass, actually, for third. Still 2 by 2 for 4th and 6th. And what will also be 5th. DiBenedetto up in a 4th. Kligerman trying to make a move, but he doesn't have that help that he needs. DiBenedetto still a couple, 3 car lengths back or so. Which means Kligerman isn't going to be able to do anything with his run. But yes, he will. He will still get to the inside of Keselowski. He just didn't have the pace to get to the inside of Almirola. Almirola has led most of these green flag laps. He stayed out under caution, and that handed him the lead. Side by side for second between DiBenedetto and Kligerman. Down into 1 and 2. Single file between almost the entirety of this pack. You do not want to try to make a move on the outside. That is not where you'll want to be running. Next lap car is Castle and then Truex, who just are in turn 4 and exiting turn 4 as these guys are about to enter turn 3. So they might get caught quite soon. We've only gone about maybe 6, 7 green flag laps. And Almirola has to pit, as does Bowyer. Both of the Stewart-Haas cars are going to drop down pit road, and that will leave only 6 cars in this lead pack. Almirola and Bowyer trying to play maybe a fuel game and pit early. I'm not sure if these guys in this front pack can make it on fuel. Bowyer and Almirola pulling into their stalls. As they go down into turn 3, Kligerman, Larson, Keselowski 3 wide for the lead as we speak. Kligerman trying to hold on that outside lane, but he just keeps getting stuck up there. Larson with a run, more cars down pit road. The lap cars are going to pit, which means these guys aren't going to have to deal with lap traffic, except they might have to deal with Almirola and Bowyer. They are catching them quite fast, but those guys might be up to speed shortly. They're 3 wide per second. Larson pulling away because of that, with a big gap on those guys. This is starting to look like an 80s plate race. Contact, Keselowski and Kligerman rubbing fenders down the backstretch. We have 2 lap cars of Bowyer and Almirola, the guys that just pit. Bowyer will be picked up by this by this pack of cars shortly. And now Bowman and Johnson, the teammates, are also going to pit together. 2 teammates down pit road at the same time. It looks like none of these guys are going to make it on fuel, and Bowyer and Almirola might have just played them, although they aren't together, so they are losing time. And Bowyer is going to get shuffled out big time, going way slower than everybody else, but he will be able to catch up on the draft unless he loses it somehow. All these guys are single file. The question is, are they pitting? DiBenedetto looks like he is going to go up high, and these guys are going to pit. DiBenedetto will be the last of the front group to pit. And he is driving by himself now, ahead of Bowyer, who might catch him. And now Castle's in the way. Almirola loses time to Castle, but Dibby might do so as well. Castle right in the racing groove. DiBenedetto gets held up by Castle, who blocks him. Bowyer gets held up as well. These guys might have just been screwed over completely, thanks to Castle. Hold on a moment. And it looks like DiBenedetto is signaling he's going to come to pit road, and he will. Matt DiBenedetto pulls it onto pit road, so that will hand the lead. Currently, technically, if he stays out, Buescher will be the leader, but I believe he has to pit as well, and he does. So the next car on track that was in that front group is currently Kyle Larson, who has just exited pit road and is getting up to speed. Kligerman is catching him. Next car is Keselowski, and then Bowman and Johnson are also working together, and Almirola drops back a long ways. DiBenedetto is out of pit road. Can he keep up with the front pack? They are right there behind him. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep with the front leaders. DiBenedetto still currently has the lead. Here they come. Kligerman and Larson are going to pass him. DiBenedetto will drop out of their draft, and he will probably end up joining up on this secondary pack that consists of Keselowski, Johnson, and Bowman. And it looks like he is going to join up. Next cars, Bowyer and Almirola are way behind these guys. DiBenedetto will join up on the front pack, on this secondary pack. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch. I mean, these guys are going at it for the race lead. Kligerman and Larson. I believe Kligerman does have a race win this season. if I am not mistaken.
Well, this bad season's video.
I apologize for that little clippet of audio that just played. Something loaded on my browser. Down into the tri-oval. How much are these guys behind catching? The gap was approximately 2 seconds between Dibby and the front guys last lap. It is now 2.1 seconds this lap. But now these guys are single file. And De Benedetto didn't have any draft on that lap, so I think he will catch. I think they will catch now. Although they are battling, they are still working together. They still have the draft of each other. These two guys keep going side by side for the race lead. So I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on to it. Kligerman still holding on to the lead. Larson on the outside. Running way outside. Not even pulling into his draft. So this lap, the gap between the leaders went from 2 seconds to about 1.5. So they are definitely going to catch. Johnson might even lose the draft because I think they're getting a pull from the leaders now. So this race is about to get a lot more exciting once they catch up. Although it definitely hasn't been one of the most exciting Talladega races, since we had so many cars out quite early, and they're going to go side by side again. These guys are just throwing away their lead at this point since they keep running side by side. Here comes Keselowski, Bowman, De Benedetto, and Johnson looks like he is going to drop outside the draft. This 2-car lead group has become 5 cars and maybe 6 cars. Not sure if Jimmy can catch back up. He's still losing time. His gap to the leaders has stayed the exact same. And now here comes Keselowski, Bowman, and De Benedetto. Will they make their own moves? They're going to try to. 3 wide for the lead down the back. That might give Johnson a chance to catch up. He is going slightly faster than these guys. Keselowski will take the lead. Next lap car is Castle, who is actually quite close. And is about 30 miles an hour off the pace. 3 wide for third. This might screw them over. Can they get around Castle? Keselowski held up. De Benedetto to lose time behind him. Castle blocks the 95. And now this front pack just went from 5 cars to 4 cars. De Benedetto gets blocked by Castle. What in the world? So down off turn number 4, Kligerman continuing to lead. He has led a lot of this late section of the race. And trying to hang on to it. As they come off of turn number 2, Keselowski is caught back up. Bowman a little bit off the pace, it seems. Although Johnson has caught up to this front pack. But Dibby is off the pace thanks to the 0-0 of Castle. Truex, lap car in the way. That might give Dibby what he needed. Truex blocking the leaders. What will they do? Keselowski getting forced in the middle. And now Truex blocks the low line. What is he doing? Truex in the way of Larson and Johnson. And now he gets out of the way. De Benedetto might have gotten what he needed because of that. But he still isn't that fast. Five laps to go at Talladega for Parker Kligerman, who has led these closing laps after the pit cycle which screwed over multiple drivers and ended their chances at a win. But Kligerman has mastered the pit stops and is trying to grab his second win of the season, I believe. Either first or second. Single file between the leaders. Larson gaining on Bowman. Will he push him or will he try to make a move? He will try to pass the 88. Johnson losing time on the leaders. Keselowski and Kligerman, both of them in need desperately of points, running in the back of the points table. Larson up into third, trying to make a move all by himself, but not going to be able to do it. Falls back in line, thinks better of it, but now he looks again, and he will get to the inside of Keselowski. Larson into second, does not have a win on this season yet. He has had a big drought. Wasn't doing too good last season in season 6. And now he's going for the lead. Will Keselowski go with him? He will. Larson looking for his first win on the season. To the lead. Goes the 42. Will Keselowski slot in behind him, or will he try to make a move himself? Keselowski looks like he's going to pop in behind the 42 with just 3 laps to go. Down off turn number 4, Johnson has lost the pack. It'll be 4 cars to decide the Alabama 499. 2 laps to go for Kyle Larson. And Kligerman is going to go for second. Keselowski, without any help on the outside, quickly drops back into third. Can Kligerman try to make a move on Larson? He tries it. Here comes Kligerman to the inside. Down the back straightaway. Keselowski to go with the 96. Down into 3 and 4. Larson trying to win it. He's trying to win his first of the season. Kligerman, I'm not sure if he has won this season. But if he hasn't, he might be able to do it this time. The white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Talladega. Lap traffic of Ragan is ahead. Will they catch the 38? Will we have another controversial finish like we have many times before at plate races involving lap cars? Keselowski is the leader. It looks like they will catch Ragan, but it is a matter of when. Down the back straightaway. Kligerman still has the clear on Keselowski. Keselowski is right on his bumper. Down the front stretch. Kligerman to block the 2. Ragan blocks the 96. Here they come to the checkered flag. Keselowski gets blocked as well. Parker Kligerman will dominate the closing laps of the race and wins it at Talladega. Checkered flag for the 96. What a victory. What something he needed. After that one. Moves up in a second. So, looking at the finishing order, Parker Kligerman wins the race, Brad Keselowski second, Bowman third, Larson drops back to 4th. 5th, rounding out the top 5, will be Jimmy Johnson, and 6th, tough break for DiBenedetto. Could have won that race. Almirola, another fast car, finishes 7th, sadly. Buescher in 8th, Bowyer 9th, and a lap down will be Ragan in 10th. 11th will be Truex and Castle in 12th, who are both 2 laps down. And all the DNFs we have, 13th will be Jones, 14th Suarez, 15th Blaney, 16th will be Byron, 17th will be Stenhouse, 18th Hamlin, 19th will be Chase Elliott, and final place will be Kevin Harvick. That will be Parker Kligerman's second race win of the season. I can confirm after looking at the previous race winners. Good win for him, something he definitely needed. He won at race 8, which was Rockingham. So get a look at the point standings now. So points standings after that race. Points leader Kevin Harvick takes a big hit to his lead after finishing last. And out of seemingly nowhere with a mid to late season resurgence, Kligerman, who was back in the bottom 3 for at least 5 races in the season, now is in 3rd, only 39 points back on the leader of the championship. Ragan in 4th after a mediocre result, and Bowyer, who still finished decent, will be in 2nd with a 7-point gap, and Almirola rounds out the top 5, 48 points back. And looking down at the bottom part of the grid, Stenhouse will be last, and DiBenedetto, with a tough break, will be tied for 18th with Larson, who had a good day today, finishing 4th. And notable, Castle continuing to drop back, as well as Suarez, who dropped back quite big time. And sadly, also, one of the previous champions that we had, Bowman, is really struggling in points. Running 10th. He just cannot get away from that 10th position. Really sucks for him. So, next race, race 12, will be at Pocono for the Omron 300. Returning again to this track. I believe we did our first race back there last season after being away for 2 to 4 seasons. We'll catch you then for 25 laps at Pocono. Gonna be an interesting one. Pocono can normally either be a calm race or a wreckfest, which we have seen before. So, catch you next time for Pocono Race 12.